So, for those who doesn't know who I am, my name is Karla Bailey. However, my original name was Karla Sosa, as I was born and raised in Mexico City. And in this video, I want to show you how it's to grow up in one of the biggest cities in the world and highlight some of the differences between living in Canada and Mexico. As far as I remember, this is where I lived in Mexico City. Of course, I lived somewhere else, but I just don't really remember. And I lived here since I was around 5. This is where my grandparents live, and then we moved into the same apartment. So this place is actually in a neighborhood called Tlalpan, which is located at the south part of the city. And I can consider that this is kind of a safe place, as there's security at the entrance of this apartment complex. There's so many apartments, I'm not sure how many people live here, but I have great memories as I used to come out with my neighbor friends to play. And there's actually a playground in the second section of this apartment complex. And one of my best memories was in Halloween, because imagine how many doors you can knock in such a short period of time and get a lot of candy. I actually live along one of the main avenues in Mexico City, and I guess one of the main differences with Canada is that you will find a lot of vendors on the street. Because that's the way that a lot of people here in Mexico City do their living. And there's always gonna be a small convenience store where you can buy your chips or whatever you need, or that maybe you forgot to buy at the grocery store. And right now we're gonna go across the street because there's a market. Around Mexico City, it's very common to find markets like this kind, where they basically close down the streets so these people can set up. So usually they choose like 1 or 2 days a week where people from some other places come and set up their little stores. Not only you can buy clothes and toys and whatever you can think of, but also a lot of fruits and vegetables. So it's a great way to support the smaller entrepreneurs and people that do their living this way. All right, so we're out of the market, and what do you think?
Yeah, well, definitely not as busy as previous times, maybe because of COVID, but it's one of the things I like about Mexico is going to the markets. They're so tight together and there's so many different things. But one thing for sure, we don't really have the same kind of markets in Canada. We do have farmers markets, but I find it's like premium or more expensive because it's handcraft stuff. Here it's more...
And they're actually inside establishments because of course you cannot have an outdoor market all year round in Canada due to the weather.
One of the things that always surprised me was the buying meat at these markets, because obviously there's not really refrigeration, and sometimes with the chicken they're like cutting it with scissors, and I don't know how many times they clean it and stuff like that.
But I've never gotten sick. I mean, that's how everyone does it here. And here you actually can buy meat and fruit and vegetables cheaper than the actual grocery store. There's an actual grocery store just behind us. And in Canada, farmers markets are actually more expensive. So that's one of the many differences between Mexico and Canada. At my first school, and I say my first because my mom has mentioned that my kindergarten has been closed down, but this is a school that I attended from 5 years old to 10 years old. So here in Mexico you have 2 options: to attend public school or private school. I consider that I was from middle class, so my parents were able to pay for private school, and I guess the main difference is that you can have other subjects, but especially English. Here in private school you can have a better level of English, and that's why all my life I went to private schools. So this school was actually run by the Catholic Church. So here I got to learn about the Catholic religion, and I also had some classes like ballet and stuff like that. So I have quite nice memories from this school. It was just for girls, and eventually my parents decided that I should move to another school just because I had a very bad reputation of talking a lot in this school. Until now, as Matthew says.
I don't think that changed, so. One of the things I noticed, or 2 of the things I noticed that are very different here compared to my schools growing up in Canada is, well, first of all, everything's enclosed here. So there's like high security. You know, you can't see outside the school here with the walls and stuff like that, whereas ours is very much out in the open.
Yeah.
And then another thing I just noticed is this.
What is that?
That's where you go if there's an earthquake.
Oh, yeah, that's true. This is my second school. Oh my God. It feels so weird to be back after so many years, literally. Like after maybe 20 years or more. Shit, I'm old. But anyway, here in Mexico, also when you go, I think either public or private schools, we wear uniforms. And I remember that in this school, the level of English was a little bit higher. So when I entered, my level was a little bit lower. So believe it or not, when I was little, I had a hard time to learn English. So it's hard to believe that now I'm fluent in English. And also it's so cool to see that after so many years, I still hang out with my friends that I made in this school. Oh my God, they look right the same. Even the chairs are the same. Oh, wow. And the bathrooms look the same. Look. Oh my God, I was so little. They look so miniature. Oh, wow. Oh.
This is where Karla went pee.
Where I'm gonna go right now because I gotta go pee. You can never tell that this is actually a university and how pretty it is in the inside, because actually the whole structure and the classrooms are very colonial, with brick, like old-fashioned, really, really pretty. But anyway, here is where I came for university, and actually on my 6th semester out of the 8 semesters is when I decided to go to Canada as an exchange, and is when I met Matthew in Lethbridge. So I guess this was my best decision ever, because that's how I met the love of my life.
Me.
I know, I love him. We are where I used to work here in Mexico City, in one of the newest areas of Mexico City called Santa Fe. So this is a neighborhood that is pretty much like 40 minutes from where I live, but that's without traffic. With traffic, I used to do up to 3 hours, and I remember I arrived crying to my house like after being 3 hours in the damn traffic here in Mexico City. That's one of the worst things that I really don't miss anything about. But anyway, here is where I used to work for Johnson & Johnson Mexico. I was actually in the marketing team of Johnson's Baby, and it was a job that I really enjoyed doing so much, but then I decided to quit. But it was for a good reason, to be with Matthew. I met him, like I guess, like a year or a year and a half before I decided to move to Canada. And it's been one of the best decisions of my life, not also because I get to do what I love, which is like traveling and showcasing Canada, but of course to be with my other half.
Aww.
I know. So who would have thought, right?
From Johnson & Johnson to YouTuber. What a strange mix.
I love you. Sadly, I'm in my last walk with Kika, my doggy, here in Mexico City. And it's so sad that I couldn't show you more of Mexico City due to the pandemic. A lot of things were closed down. But yeah, I guess this is one of the hardest things about living in Canada, that I'm so far from my family and I just get to see them once a year. But I'm just so happy that I was able to come and spend Christmas with them through this horrible time that we're living. Thank goodness we all stay safe. But anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, And leave me in the comments if you like me to do more videos of this, like this. And if you have any questions. So as always, if you're interested to know more about Canada and even Canada and Mexico, don't forget to subscribe and visit our website at mustdocanada.com. Hasta la vista! This is Mrs. Kika. She's almost 16 years old and she's the cutest poodle I've ever seen. I love her so much. Kikis! Kikis!